I don't see it. Yellow cab.
Yellow cab? I don't see
Not
it.
here yet. Big deal. You put it on autopilot.
Where are you going?
We're going to Anchorage.
Anchorage.
To see
You too?
a moose.
Yes, I am.
A moose.
I'm going to the bathroom.
Okay.
Your attention please, American Eagle is paging a final boarding call for flight 3562. All passengers must be on board at this time, or your seats will be given to this standby final.
Shut down here. Land in Detroit, Michigan, Motor City. Leaving Detroit, Michigan for Vancouver, British Columbia. Back in the plane out. British Columbia. Now landing. Touchdown. Vancouver, British Columbia.
I closed and everything else I got. I got bills.
That's a big ship, Susie.
It is a big ship. I'm going to go check in so I can get on the big ship.
Where are we checking at?
Up this ramp, buddy. Let's
Okay.
move it.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Welcome aboard. Where's your hubby?
He's talking. I don't know. Well, yeah, we didn't.
What's that?
I didn't. You didn't have because you're from the area. I'm totally important. Little stress, little cold sore.
Okay. But we're gonna have a good time.
Love it.
Yeah.
Good goober on the lip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't care. We don't want anybody to come back there.
I really don't want anybody talking to me.
That's right. One guy.
We
One
left
guy
for a
that's here.
reason.
The guy that's here with his two daughters. Got three adopted daughters. And he's an attorney. He has a land title.
Holland America.
Or Holland America, yeah. I was on that once and I was dragged all our stuff in.
What line do you like best?
Got lemon mousse.
Conversation. I really.
What?
Key
Is that
lime.
lemon mousse?
Key lime. Or princess and
Key lime
Cobra.
mousse?
Thank you.
Oh, our beds are together. We don't even have to ask.
All right. Somebody live here.
Inside your stateroom, you will find your life jacket located in your
This is
wardrobe.
very nice.
There is a sign located at the back of your slipper door that tells you which assembly station you are assigned to. This is the right side with facing forward.
Here.
Assembly stations X1 and X3 are
Learn how to be
marked
safe
on
here.
deck number 6. Assembly station X2 is in the chopped grill on deck number 6. And assembly station X4 is in a Portofino restaurant. In addition, flashing strobe and emergency lights in the corridors and public areas.
That's the bathroom.
Operate
Yes.
in conjunction with the audible alarm. When you
I'm
hear the
using
signal,
it.
Okay.
circumstances allow, make it have reflective tape to increase your visibility, a whistle, and a light from your stateroom. Please make yourself familiar with this sign. All assembly stations are located on decks 5 and 6. Assembly stations A1, A2, A3, and A4 are located
Small but very nice.
on deck number 5. Assembly stations B1, C1, C2, D1, and
Susie, we don't even have to make the
are on
bed.
deck 5 on the
I
port
know,
side.
isn't that wonderful?
This is the left side of the ship when facing forward.
What's this?
Assembly stations U1, U2, V1, W1.
This is the dock in Vancouver where we caught the ship, and I don't know what's across the harbor there. I don't think that's Vancouver, but there's gorgeous mountains there with snow-capped peaks. I'm sure it's part of British Columbia. We're getting a late start on our cruise departure. We're going to cruise out at 5, but there was a couple busloads of people that didn't show up. So over here, I think, is the actual town of Vancouver. We're shooting into the sun here as it goes down. I think that's Vancouver, British Columbia right there. And we're in the bay here. We're really on the top part of the ship here. This would be the front, whatever ship dock that is. So we're going down to the lower deck and look out from there. We're on the other side of the ship now, and now you can see some more of that snow-peaked mountains over there. On the other side of the bay to Vancouver. I guess we'll be seeing a lot of it as we make this trip to Alaska. I was saying that the ship was going to depart at 5, and here it is 10 till 6, and we haven't even started to depart because we're waiting for those people that are getting here late. Well, we're getting lower here to the front of our ship, as you can tell. I'm going to turn around now and look down to our lower deck. Whoops, can't see it. There it is down there, and there's actually a heliport down there. There's Vancouver for another angle. My camera's more in the shade this time. This looks to be a dome, something like the Space Needle in Seattle. Let's say. Looks like you could go up there and have a view and maybe probably eat. Again, that's the front of the ship. Again, there's something over in downtown Vancouver. Looks pretty unique. Looks like another cruise ship over there. Beyond that, or in front of that teepee looking stuff. I'm sure there's lots of cruise ships that leave from here. Back up down to another elevation. I didn't see how to get down there to that heliport. We'll find it sooner or later. If I'd have been faithful at the YMCA, I could come up here and used all this equipment. The gym's up here on the top floor. There again, looking out through the windows, Vancouver. Handle a lot of people. Hi, my grandma.
Want to see a picture of my new baby?
Yeah. I'll be back.
Okay, I'll be here.
This is
you'd take her suitcase.
Oh, I gotta change sources.
Where's this baby at?
Wait a minute, I have to change sources. She's on the card and I'm an intern.
What do you got in there?
Here's the newest family member. This is Terry Joe. And if you wait just a minute, I'll show you a picture of her and her mother.
Okay.
You have a bunch of wine on there. There she is. Back again, please. This is Trisha and her baby who was born on my birthday on Tuesday.
That's a nice present.
Four people we know.
Take a cab or anybody else.
But your people were here. Yeah, he didn't get it.
Hi.
And some of them might have
Okay.
Welcome aboard.
old tables. A few things.
Oh, my construction day's over. Mr. Champ.
So we're setting sail right now, huh?
What they tell us.
What time is it, Mayor?
7:18.
7:18. We're
Write
two.
that down. 7:18. Take that to
7:18?
the bank.
All
Vancouver
right.
time.
Vancouver time.
I have no idea what time it is in our time. Are you going to take it to
It's way past bedtime.
11:18 Eastern Standard Time.
Excellent. This one's our order. Can I help you? This one. Go ahead, Erhan.
I'm just going to go.
This is where we first touched Canadian soil.
We got out of here with a lot less trouble when you get here.
Hey, I finally see water.
Coat, shouldn't I, in all this weather? Yes. Is it an automatic thing or is it? No, I think they do it because when he did it a while ago, he was so proud of himself he smoked it. He did the thumbs up thing.
It's our first White House.
It doesn't taste like I need to wash my window. Is that smeary window show up?
Yeah.
Are we on this side or that side? I wrote down that rule. You were talking to? You belonged to ABWA when I did. Marty found a one of our friends from here. Yeah, I actually talked to that gal. How did you know her? ABWA.
Hey, Rose. Okay, we'll find our way out. On our way. First evening of cruising. Okay, hon, here we are on day 2.
Here we are.
What day is this anyway?
It's Saturday.
Saturday the 16th.
And we're just cruising the inward strait today.
Okay.
We won't see land till tomorrow. Unless we look on the other side of the ship.
We better not get seasick.
I don't intend to.
So this is this considered the ocean or
Well, it's a strait.
it's a strait?
That's all that's left of somebody's ship.
Where? You just see debris? It's a body?
No, it's just a pile.
There's a little bit of land way over there, honey. Kind of foggy this morning. What time is it? About 7:30?
Actually, it's 8:30.
Oh, we slept in. Well, we were tired. Okay, let's go eat breakfast.
Let's go eat.
An official totem pole? Pretty chilly for anybody being in a pool. This hot tub must be warm. They're in there. They were. Nobody in the lounge is this cold morning. All empty. I think that's where they get out if they're looking for ice glaciers. They can be in there and look straight down and see if there's any danger in the water. We're headed that way. There ain't nothing there. windy out here. This is the heliport on the front of the ship. The front as aft as we can go. Boy, is it windy out here. It's pretty nippy too, isn't it? Just get back from that nose a little bit. Wind calms down. The boy out there at the nose. It is really windy right out there. That ain't quite far away. Look at Susie over there. Look at the wind beating her. What's she gonna do, Rose? There goes Rose. Not bad. It's amazing. Yeah, Cave of the Winds at Niagara Falls. It's kind of like it. The further she goes out there, it just gets windier and windier. This is Luke Burkhart, formerly with the Pennsylvania Department of Agriculture. He's along on the crew.
Now let's just say this artwork was $1 million. Would you buy it right now? If I gave you the money, okay. But if I didn't give you the money, would you buy it? No. Okay. So let's turn that on its head a little bit and let's say this. This artwork is worth $1 million right now. If you don't buy this artwork, okay, if you don't buy this artwork, I'm going to take your wife away from you for the rest of your life. Now, please answer very carefully. This is the first day of the cruise. Will you buy it now? Anything in your power, won't you, sir?
And you're happy too.
Paris Hilton is rotting away in prison right now. Now, whether an opinion about Italy since we were kids, but that is the way it is with every other subject. beginning to end in the creation of a limited edition. Limited edition means there's a certain amount that are created that will never be created again. An open edition is a poster. An open edition means that it can be created at any time throughout history, and nobody watches how many of those are made because they're not very valuable. And this is a serigraph. Seri in Greek means silk, graph means to draw. So it's a silk drawing, serigraph. Now how he creates this is that every single colour here, every nuance, every variant, I'm going to pass this around a second so you can have a look at it, is represented by a
This is the auctioneer talking about the paintings that we saw down there earlier. People in the gallery. One of the elevators.
That work? Got the one?
They're so blurry. You can't keep the camera still. Don't look up, her neck is hurting her.
You actually see that better from over here and not looking through the glass. So chilly out here and not very many people in that pool. We got one little kid or is that a reflection? That's not a kid. Over here in the hot tub, they like that. Somebody lounging, sunbathing. I guess it's chilly enough that nobody's doing the rock climbing either. That's some basketball guys. Too cold for basketball. And we don't have any kids in the kiddie pool either. People hang out. Miniature golf in the cold wind. Here's the after the ship. This is as far back as we can go on the upper deck, I guess. At the end of the miniature golf course. So there is a lower deck down there. Nice place down in there if it wasn't so cold. Yes, this is part of the country club. It's closed right now. You didn't get down there. guess we leave a pretty good trail behind us. We cruise along. Now this stairway said you could come down in here. So we'll take a little look around. Yes, let's just sit there. Okay, here's lunch on the second day, Susie.
Here's lunch.
And we're at the aft of the ship. And we're going to be looking for whales while we eat. There's one.
Better eat, it's going to be cold.
And the pork chop will be cold. All of a sudden there's something floating by. I don't know what that is. The captain just made an announcement on the loudspeaker here a couple minutes ago that we're going 60 miles an hour. So I guess that's zipping right along. And that's probably why it's so windy out front. And you stand up front and see the little rose thing, and it's facing a 60-mile-an-hour headwind.
This is marvellous with green A's. Marvellous. What a green? That's it, dear. Now, the auctions, we're going to have a marvellous time. I mean, is anybody here actually here to have fun? Is anybody here just because they came to the show?
That would be iffy, huh?
The end of day 2. Tomorrow we're in Ketchikan. It's going to be sunny. I know, windy and the waves are really choppy. There's your first view of Alaska, Susan. What's your correct pronunciation?
Ketchikan.
Ketchikan, Alaska. Okay. Our first port of call.
Now it's going.
Take 7. Oh, that's funny. Deck 4.
Okay. That's probably a good thing.
There we go.
Okay, we're in the port of Ketchikan, Alaska. And this gives me a side view of our ship. Hi there! The dining rooms are in there. That's where the elevator says, right? That's the biggest glass wall. You really get a great view in there on the elevators, but it never lasts long enough. This really gives you a pretty good vision for how big our ship is.
Last year the biggest was London. This year they're talking about Portugal.
Pretty big. She's talking to Emily back in Pennsylvania from Ketchikan, Alaska.
to Bellingham, Washington. A walk-on's like $200 and something. My 18-foot van, when I used to own that myself, that's why we have Eskimo smooching. We don't kiss. My dad worked out there for 28 years. My brother's 17. I worked one summer. Now here's our mall area here. We do have a Safeway back there. And because the economy hasn't been good, the upstairs, the whole upstairs of the mall has been shut down for the last 3 years. Candyman, a friend of mine, has a store downtown. He started off at $1,200 a month for his lease. He's paying like $5,000 a month. Now that's what we pay monthly on him. It's killing it. No, these are cruise ship stores. Majority of them are. 70% are now. They'll close these down and then they move down to the Caribbeans. Locals. Now this is Mission Street. See, guys stand out in the street. Won't give a discount, but right here at Salmon Etc. You go in here. I lied. Well, why not? Minutes after they eat. Early days, there was actually walk. Maybe we'll get lucky and see a steelhead. There's still steelhead running, so I was so mad. My creek. All right, we're gonna unload. Across, that's called a fish weir. They put that across the creek. The hatchery's right here. It diverts the fish up the fish ladder into the hatchery. They'll hold the. Let me get by here. They'll hold the fish in the hatchery until they're ready to spawn. What they'll do then is they take the female and slice the belly on the female, drop the eggs in a bucket, and milk the male for spawn. Mix it up in a bucket. They put in trays. They've got dressers about 6 foot tall. They put those trays in. They've got a quart of flow of fresh water, highly oxygenated. Now once they hatch, they put them in holding pens with artificial gravel until they absorb their egg sacs. When they get to a certain size, they put them in larger pens and they feed them fish pellets. Okay? When they get a little bit bigger, they go ahead and they take them out. They clip off the adipose fin and they put them on a machine that shoots a needle into the nose of the salmon. That needle has identification number on it. Now they hold the fish for 1 to 2 years depending on the species. They release them and they go out in the ocean. Now if you're out fishing and you catch a 40-pound king and you bring it to our dock here, the fishing game's going to be there. Okay, let me look at your fish. The adipose fin is been cut off. You'll see more than half of your fish. They'll cut the nose of the salmon off and that makes one look up the number on it. It's on the left. And I call it catfish. This catfish means that we need to stand. Catfish fish are really good for that. That's not the only wild population. When you catch them, there's a point of them. You see a contract back, you catch the hour, and that's like no fish out there. They're saying wild, around the same fish, not the same quality fish. It's like when you go to the store and buy farm raised fish, I can't eat it. It's gross. Then you go hatchery fish, that's better. Move over, it looks like you do want to go through. See what it's representing is the elders passing their knowledge down to the youth. Okay? Now, I'd like to walk up here. There's another pull up here. It's my longest story for you today. I had a bus full of Koreans, and I've been to Seoul, and I spoke Korean back in the 80s, but I don't anymore, and it started coming back to me, so it was fun. Whole different world over there, I'll tell you. Up, you have Raven holding a gaff hook with a sculpin on it. You know what a sculpin is? It's a bullhead. Okay? Below them is the 2 slaves, and then you have Fogwoon with the club and a salmon in her hand. What you have, folks, is a long, long, long time ago, you have Raven and Raven's clan. Raven would go out fishing every day with his 2 slaves. But all he ever caught was a sculpin. The sculpin is a bullhead. They have large heads on them, very little meat on the body. Well, being that was the only thing he ever caught, Raven's clan was starving, and ill with sickness from starvation. But he continued to go fishing every day with his 2 slaves. One day when he was out fishing with his 2 slaves, the fog rolled in. Raven and his 2 slaves got lost. They paddled for hours upon hours until they were so exhausted they could not paddle no more. Just when Raven was ready to give up, there appeared in the bow of the boat the Fog Woman. And Fog Woman asked Raven, "Can I help you?" Raven says, "Yes, we cannot go no further." So Fog Woman lifted the fog up and guided Raven and his 2 slaves back to the clan. When they got back to the clan, Raven took Fog Woman for his wife. And for the great festivities, Fog Woman took Raven's hat, filled it full of fresh spring water, and pulled out the first salmon, a 60-pound king. And they all feasted well that day. In the following days, Fog Woman continued to take Raven's hat, fill it full of fresh spring water, and pull out salmon. She filled the drying racks and smokehouses, and there was no more starvation and illness among Raven's clan.
Now we're in Saxon right now. This is the native village catch.
Or the red cedar. That's the wood they used to carve with. They used totem poles, clan house canoes. They call it the tree of life because they use it for so many things. The women will also go out in the woods, a live tree, and strip the bark off. It doesn't damage the tree. And they'll soak the bark, and then they strip off strips. And they'll make mats, hats, and boat baskets out of it. Okay? It doesn't hurt the sharp tree. Now, they also use yellow cedar for paddles, rattles, and bentwood boxes, which you'll see in the window there. And then we have this wood right here. This is your red alder. Soak it for about 6 months in a barrel of water to soften it up. And they'll make their war helmets, headsets, faceplate lids, and eating tools out of it because it doesn't consume the flavor of the food. This big pole right here is 38 feet long. It's being done by our master carpenter, short, older guy. A buddy of mine would go hunting usually every year and fish together. Great guy.
What's his name? Nathan?
Nathan Jackson. When I was a kid, you got it on film, I'm being blackmailed. When I was a kid, I used to walk school, and at the Tobin Hairdresser, my house was right behind it, and he was a grouch. He's an artist. He has an artist mentality, okay? And he was ornery and didn't want me watching and bother him and stuff like that. But through the years, he's became acquainted with thousands of tourists coming through. He's opened up to people a little bit, and he's a good friend of mine now. So I should speak. Just 2 words. Everybody say, Gunichish.
Gunichish.
That's good day in Tlingit. Everybody say, Hi-8.
Iowa.
That's good day in Haida. There is language barriers. Different clans, different areas, different regions speak different language. But I will let you know, the Navajo and Apache in the lower 48 speak the same language as the Inuits up on the Aleutians. Okay? So there's a connection.
Probably where they come from originally.
Siberia. Yeah. The only ones they believe that was always here, that's always been here, are the Eskimos. They believe, because they can't prove any different, that they have always been here in the northern country. Okay?
1892 this
Over
pole was
here to
built.
your left.
1892.
Who's the gentleman at the top of that pole? That's Honest Dave. What you have, folks, there was a battle between 2 clans, the Eagle Clan and the Wolf Clan. Now, being that the Wolf Clan was the weaker of the 2 clans, they were losing that battle. But just so happens that the Wolf Clan was doing some trading with one of our ships. And that ship happened to be a cutter, had a couple big guns on it, got involved, and brought peace between both the short and short. Well, don't blame the carver. The fixed cap gave him cut Abe off at the knees, he got shorted. What they'll do is they'll draw on a piece of paper. What they're going to do, every inch on that paper represents a foot on the pole. So Abe was shorted 3 feet. It's the Seward's pole, Seward's Folly. Secretary of State purchased Alaska for $7.2 million. Greatest deal ever done. About 2 cents an acre. Woohoo! Now, Seward being a very important person, a high caste here, invited 4 other clans. You see the bentwood box he's sitting on, each clan's crest was carved in all 4 corners and given to him. The rings around the hat, each ring represents 1 potlatch from each clan. A potlatch is like a potluck, a party, for wake, wedding.
This is a ridicule pole.
Now, I want you to
Ridicule.
look the Beaver Clan House. Now, this is about an 80-member clan house. The smallest one I ever heard was about 15, the biggest one 115. Shaheem would be your high caste chief of Sigma. He was the only one that had any privacy. Then according to your status from high to low, they were closest to the Shaheem, all the way to the front where the door is, and that's where the slaves slept, where it was more strength than new blood. See how it works? When you marry, you cannot marry in your own clan. You must marry the different clan. That was for...
You know, all the the branches that just fall off the trees, the moss grows on it. I've never seen that before. Makes a pretty forest floor.
Nice you get the picture of your face instead of
Yeah,
your head.
she didn't turn around, did she?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said go over there.
Oh, well, you want to go over there?
Not anymore.
Get real brave and brave.
And then across the street you have the downtown drugstore, so everything's right there if you need it. Okay, Dolly's house here. You walk up that side, you can shop, and the tram is about 5 houses up. And then you take that cross, and then you'll see a bridge upstream. You cross that, and it'll bring you out over here by the museum. You do.
Yeah.
Jamie, stay back.
Yeah, they're
It's over 100 years old. Something like that in this house, and my dad by herself. She has a trap door in the floor, and she brought it like this kid. A wall with a hidden water inside of it. A gentleman's John, she invented. Are you open every day? Yes, we're open.
Habemos todos. We think we were told this was the oldest church in this town, and it's Sunday, Father's Day, And they're painting the church. Seems interesting. This tunnel here is supposed to be in the Guinness World Book of Records because it's the only tunnel in the world or somewhere that you can drive through, or you can drive around it, or I guess you can drive over top of it.
Hanging off the side of the boat. Reminds me of that appendage is hanging off the side of the USS.
That's the biggest one right now.
We got 3:30. We have a couple of guests that are a little bit slower than other ones, and we will wait for them about a few minutes. If they don't tell, it's 339 nautical miles, about 360 regular land miles to get to Juneau, and we will be arriving tomorrow morning at 7:30 at Long Island. We start out at 9 o'clock and wait for you guys to go on for another beautiful day. What forecast for tomorrow? We're very similar as what we've had today, so today has been pretty good so far, and so we hope that we'll have another nice day tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening. Have a great afternoon and evening on the ratings, and looking forward to a nice day tomorrow. Thank you.
The boys they're in charge, aren't they?
Yes, they are. There's nothing you can do about it.
You're headed down.
Yeah, well, we're going back up.
They're all dead.
Going down.
All right.
Yeah.
We're going down more?
I don't know how, but whatever.
It's gonna yell and say, "Don't."
Take 5.
From the 11th floor down to 4. Marty has left.
across the ship. I'll be back.
Downstairs first. Now.
I see him. We've got, I think, a couple more left here.
Yeah.
Now we're heading north, hon?
Yes.
North by northwest?
North by north something.
Sitting there on top of the tree.
Yep, and the other one's.
Where's the other one at?
It's to its left. Circling in.
Did it just land or?
No, it's coming back to me.
Oh, just to its left. Oh yeah, yeah. I found it. Wow. Yeah, baby seal. It's far away, but I got her.
You can hear him.
He's really flapping now.
There's another one in that tree. There's the pole, the red house, the pole, and then.
Yeah, we're turning, Susie. Kind of a cut right through there. I don't see a highway, but cut for something. Tugboat pulling that barge. Yeah, that's a tugboat pulling a barge. heading for that wheeler hole there?
Yes, we are.
You think we can get through it?
No,
Are we in big trouble?
probably not.
What do you think he'll do?
I think he's going to veer to the right.
Right there?
Yeah, he's going to
There.
beach us.
Ah! Okay, stay tuned. Film at 11. Washed up logs on the shore over there. Hey, honey, didn't go through there. So is he going to turn and go through here? Make a hard right? You think so?
I don't know.
Or is he going to keep the left and go right around? Okay, hon, he didn't turn right, so I guess we're going to go right around. And we're just going to zigzag around the shoreline.
We're going to go into the fog and never see anybody we love again.
Ah! The incredible shrinking man went into the fog.
Just stop.
We'll be small and the castle he is.
Right above the sign there. See it?
Yeah. There's 42 vehicles in that tree right above the sign. The wind is just shaking it. There, I see him. Side by side in the tree. There they are, hon. It's really getting chilly out here. It's getting foggy. Damn. Oh. There goes Susie heading indoors. It's rather foggy out there on this Monday morning in Alaska. We're heading for Juneau Bay. And it looks like we're going to have to be wearing coats again and gloves this morning. It'll warm up this afternoon. This is our colorful elevator shaft. This is always pretty impressive. Here's the largest glass wall on the ship. When you ride the elevator, you really get a neat view of what's out there. Foggy on this side of the ship too. Hey, where are we at, Sue?
Juneau.
The capital of?
Alaska.
And here's another cruise ship out here. And you have to get tendered out there on a little ship. So we're going to dock, but they're going to move out there later on. So we'll get the ride of tender. So we're ready to go on land right now and see this capital of Alaska. Okay, we're getting off here, as you know. And these little streams coming out of that mountain. The tram that we'll see go up here pretty soon. Boy, that's steep. What do you think, hon?
I think this is pretty cool, and I think in 2 years we'll bring our children back.
It was in the clear a couple minutes ago, now it's fogged in. Hey guys! Wave to me. See you later. There's a tail end of another ship. It's a different one. Different than ours. Docked up here just in front of ours. Doesn't look too wild boy to me. It's a reproduction of the Liberty Bell down in Florida, or excuse me, Philadelphia. So here we have the state capitol building of Alaska, here in Juneau. Nice neighborhood. Over here's a government building.
Go to different bases and sites a little bit closer to home and still be involved in the process, which is nice. And I know you just sat down, but if you want, the window has a good view. It's part of the reason why I kind of I can point out a couple things. I think you're going to lecture us for a while. Here, and we don't have air conditioning, so just next to the roof. Look out the window, and kind of directly down below us there is the building with a gray roof in particular, so if that's something you're interested in, it's a good place to go. The governor's mansion, if you were to hit from here, it's pretty close, so yeah, just waterfall in the road. And there's no tours of that building, because it's actually where our governor worked, because it's built on a hill. There's some kind of neat things in there, like a piece of Alaskan jade, another. It's hard to, you can't really see
straight here.
Like, straight down.
Okay.
Just go out the doors to the right and it's right there.
We're going to be elected in state offices is where we should start.
Okay. Cool.
We're going to go down to 2, so it's kind of the farming.
Okay, bye.
I think that's our ship.
Some more pictures.
Looking at it from the state capitol of Alaska.
Where all those stores closed. They just like fly in seasonal workers. Yeah, yeah. And so it says tourist season ends.
Well, heard pound how.
Ancient meat was a 400-pound dollar. I know.
Can you imagine dragging everything on a cart?
Alaska campfire girls. Come here.
So here we are. the screens on either side. And then you see they have a third button there to call a page over. And our system's a little bit different from most. We had what's called a silent floor, and that means that the senators aren't allowed just to stand up and argue or talk whenever they feel like it. They have to wait to be called on by the Senate President in order to speak. And so the way they communicate with each other during a session is they'll rap.
Worked for me.
The House and Senate chambers were both located in the building's east wing.
Here's one more behind Whittier. Like you can go down Whittier and then like you'll see the Joe Drug Company and McDonald's and all that. If you just continue along that. So this is where the House Majority has all their caucus meetings. When they're in session, the Speaker of the House, his office is right through that door there, and he'll be in there working away. But actually, originally this room was our territorial Senate chambers. Before we were a state, they still had a territorial that side and the House on that side, and just changed this into a meeting room. But they kept a lot of things. This is carved out of Sitka spruce, which is our state tree. And there's different pictures on there that represent different industries throughout the state. So you have a farmer down here for agriculture, some trees for lumber, there's mining going on up there in the hills, a couple of boats out in the water for fishing, and then up top there's the mountains, and it's supposed to be the northern lights above it. That stands for tourism. And there's one industry that's not on there, and it's oil, and that's because they designed it was designed back in the 1920s originally to be our territorial flag. And back then there was a competition held at public schools for design for the flag. And unfortunately that was before the Anti-Discrimination Act was passed. And so Alaskan Natives weren't allowed into public schools. So you would think no Alaskan Native could submit a design, but Benny Benson, he was an Alaskan Native, 13 years old, he was an orphan, and he was in a state-run orphanage. And he was allowed to enter designs through that. And so this is his design. He said that the color blue was for the sea and sky of Alaska. The color gold is for all the gold found here. You have these stars, which are in the formation of the Big Dipper. That's also known as the Ursa Major, or the Great Bear. So he said that stood for Alaska's strength and courage. And then up top, that's the North Star. And he said it was pointing north towards Alaska's future. So it's pretty good work for a 13-year-old, yeah.
These 5 pictures are actually drawings. This is what I remember. Why? You have these phone booths. They have it like out of the restaurant. Come in a little closer soon. After you shut the door, there's this fan you can turn on. Well, I guess it's after I shut the door, the light comes on. There's a fan there. After you shut the door, the light turn the fan on and off. It's quite an air, you can get air going. And you make your phone call in privacy. Sit down here for comfort. Isn't that neat?
Say that again, what were they?
Those were the good old days. And then, I don't think this one is a light. Oh yeah, it's a new modern light. This is too modern. It says the old light.
First of all, welcome to the state capitol.
They're not kind of the same. This must have been revamped. Pretty neat. I think our ship's still in harbor. We're taking it from beside the state capitol building here in Juneau. No, that's not our ship. That's another one. That's another cruise ship. But it just shows you how close you are to the harbor. And we're going over here to the State Museum, which has this great big totem poles. Who likes totem poles? This is a 4-story totem. Monster frog, the man with the fish trap. Those are castor beams. You don't see them used a lot of places, but they have a lot of ornamental value. They're nice. Read it, Susie.
No, a balanced diet is chocolate in both hands. Men, coffee, and chocolate are better rich. Forget love, I'd rather fall in chocolate. You give me all your chocolate and nobody gets hurt. Hey! Hi!
Our cruise ship has left this spot and another one's pulled in. And it's pretty big too. Well, there's our ship out in the bay now, so we're going to have to take a tender over to there. It moved out and this one moved in. I wouldn't know for sure, but in some ways this ship looks bigger than ours. I just heard another guy say that too. One big ship. That's one big scale. Up in this ship, that extension out over where the pilots are, it does have a glass floor. Obvious one that you can look down.
Straight ahead, and there's pretty hilly. There's lots of stairways around here, and sometimes those stairs have a street above, and sometimes they do not. The families here in town, we have about 7,500 government checks. So that is our #1 employer. In 1912 for the territorial governor, and there is 12,000 square feet in there. They're doing some renovation. Is probably 20 to 25% higher than anybody else in town. I've never bought gas there. Bill Egan.
Egan's by the way.
And I call it a open desk, why they have 8 people from the city standing 2 on each corner, telling people.
Clear up a little bit. Yeah, because we talked to some people who took the tram up and said it was just nothing but clouds up there. They couldn't see nothing. Said they figured they threw $50 away.
That's why we didn't do it.
Yeah, we down. You don't store it.
Yeah, ours looks a little tiny compared to that.
Just the right size, I think. Because he doesn't get too big.
Like we see people we know them from our show.
Up on top of Mount Roberts and all of the mountains around here, it is common to get 50 feet of snow every single year. Even in July, down here, if it's sunny, if you stay up overnight on the mountain, it's going to be freezing, and that's pretty standard. That rock that comes out between the, what is it, in the middle of the ship, so that rock, little bit of rock that's left, I've heard there's a cave in there big enough to keep 600 mules, and that's what they use to pull all this rock out, or this tailings. And those mules spent their entire life inside of Mount Roberts.
So they was blind then, basically.
So they were blind, they had to be because it was dark. They did have electricity here in town in 1915. Side, you'll see its wings out to its side. That means it is drying its wings out. And I should, it would be nice to get a picture like that, and I do not have one. But maybe it's drying off there into the water to figure out how they can take away the money and stay in office. There wouldn't be anything in there. Now, we are getting ready. If there's any young people that want good-paying jobs, the state of Alaska is getting ready. The weighting fish was 38.2 pounds.
Get them?
I think I'm getting them, hon. I got one anyway.
Oh, I got them.
You get them?
Yeah, I did.
You can see both of them here.
Two of them.
Oh.
Jimmy! Oh!
And did you hear him say it went back a foot? Or yeah, I mean a mile.
A mile.
So
I need to write that down.
33 That's what they hope for. I never win any other game. That water, did you see the water rushing down?
Yeah, it's over here.
Going to take us somewhere else, or that'll take us right back up. I don't know if this will too. I know I got to tell Frank and Sue I'm going with you so they don't spend any time looking for me. Hold on a second. Let me look. I can't see them.
Right here.
Same, aren't they?
After a while.
You down here?
No. I'm fine. I'm fine. You got me on the background.
We'll get you up here.
That's fine, Frank. Thank you for the offer. Okay, but it's packed. I'll talk to you on the bus about our talk.
The mountains are absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah. Is she diving? Where? Where's she at? Hi, hon.
Bye, hon. Bye, hon.
There goes Rose. You gotta quit doing Rose. How do you feel in the glacier? You feel cold?
Down here on the glacier.
Frank.
What did the people do whenever they get unemployed for next year?
80% of them don't live here. They live in your state, so they're going to school probably. I would say people that there are a few companies that own some of the businesses, probably, I don't know, local owners, maybe 40 local owners, and there are people like myself. I'm already retired. When this, we're actually a lot busier in the wintertime than we are in the summertime, but none of you are. And Alaska Coach Company, Alaska Coach stole the contract away from Trenches a few years ago, and so now they got, I don't know, 30, 40 of those big buses.
For their main places by any.
Oo, yung dala ng agent, dami bagay, mas bagay. Babalik ako.
Oh, sure.
Okay, we're leaving Juneau now, and starting on our voyage. I guess we go out of this cove or whatever it is and then into the open and farther north. It's cleared up now, clearer than it was all day. We never did get any sun. It's very clear ahead of us there where we're going. I remember seeing this morning when we came in.
Actually, none of this is real. It's all styrofoam.
What is that? We're on the boat, we're done.
Now, there's two of them ducks directly in front of us flying out. There's three more heading out. One's for the water mark.
Oh, I see them. Yeah, okay, all right.
I think they're either what they call coots, or they're either what they call ocean ducks. I think
Not us, we're going sucked to the sun.
About 15 to 20 minutes by airplane to get from the dock back. Well, we went to Mendenhall on the bus, and then my mom and I got in an airplane and went back over in there. That was spectacular to see that.
Dropped us off at the bus over there. Came back over there.
Yeah, I remember that.
Me and my wife walked around for a few minutes, then she went up to the... Got to see one and come up and turn.
This wake that shows the circle we just made. We're making a big circle now. Just come up that pass from Juneau. Now they made this big turn. We're going over this way, to the right. Probably beyond that point, keep on making a right, going up north. This is a crew that's steering us. These guys aren't doing much right now. This guy was looking at a little bit ago with binoculars. If there's anybody in here or not. see anybody right now. That's where everybody does the rows. A curved wake.
Deck 5. Deck 6. Deck 9. Deck 11.
It's a very long neck. Geese of some sort?
This morning we're in Skagway. It sure is pretty so far, what I've seen without getting off the ship. Another cruiser over here. In fact, there's a couple cruisers and us. That means there'll be a lot of people running around today. Gorgeous sunny day. No wind. Promises to be a good one. So there's somebody cleaning somewhere on the ship, and here's a couple guys right down here in the back cleaning that glass. Strapped on for safety. Work to be done everywhere all the time.